Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to focus on comfort, and these are the top 10 most comfortable basketball shoes so far this year. I just want to get right into it. This aspect is important, but I know it might not be that important to some players. I think the break-in time argument is valid, but most shoes do break in eventually. If it takes way too long to break in, that's got to take some points off at least, or it just won't make it to this list. And comfort is subjective. It could be from the underfoot cushion, foam, or technology used, or it could be from the upper material or the overall upper construction, so you get a nice and cozy feeling once you step your foot inside. I'll explain which type it is, but these 10 are all very comfy from my experience playing in them. Some honorable mentions, some very interesting honorable mentions. I think the Kai 1 gives you decent comfort. This is the type of cushion that we didn't really see from the Nike Kairis. Anta's full-length nitrogen foam, or nitro edge as they call it, is soft and delicious. I'll put it this way. Imagine you got one of those Kairi lows, but with Adidas Boost. You get more compression and feedback from the midsole, but core feel is sacrificed. Material is okay, not the plush or premium type, but you get a nicely padded tongue. Skechers SKX Resagrip. Extremely comfortable, no sharp edges, no stiff corners causing any pinching. Nice and breathable materials, doesn't fold or bend awkwardly, but my assessment of this shoe remains the same. 9 out of 10 for the comfort, 3 out of 10 for the grip. Yeah, traction is terrible, so more of an outdoor shoe. Speaking of outdoor shoes, I fell into the trap of extra durable version. So this gray pair of the Asics Gelhoop V16 has a smooth and conforming upper. Stepping onto their flight foam midsole, I'm getting a lot of Nike PG6 flashbacks. You get a nice and spongy feeling on the heel, but traction with this extra outer layer almost does take a hit. So I was sliding a little bit on dusty courts. Oh, and another one that came out much earlier would be the Jordan 38. Love the cushion setup with full-length zoom strobo and cushion 3.0. Big material upgrade from the 37. They patch a lot of areas, so it wraps around my feet nicely. Just bad durability and some sole separation concerns. But they've hit the outlets at Nike clearance stores. At around half price, let's say, that'd be a great purchase for indoors only. Okay, so here comes the top 10. I didn't rank them in order this time, but I will pick out a top 3 at the end. And I can tell you that one of these top 3 is this shoe right here. I can call this extremely comfortable, and there are a few good reasons for that. So here it is, the Li-Ning JB 2. This is the second signature shoe of Jimmy Butler. Nasty pricing, I gotta tell you right off the bat. Design took inspiration from tennis shoes, but I've seen his rallies. Nora is way better at tennis. It feels more like a running shoe because of the curve shape on the outsole, so it's just an effortless transition. Movements in different directions feel very fluent. The material is thin and soft. Cushion uses full-length boom. It's very well guarded, so the caging might not make it seem that way, but on feet, this is really soft. You don't have to have a large body weight to feel that cushion underneath. On my pair, traction was more like mediocre, so that was really the only thing stopping it from being on the very top. Otherwise, this would have been like top 1 or top 2 this year. Maybe it's time to try another colorway, because I've heard good things about traction on other outsole versions. But I gotta stock up on diapers and strollers first. Comfort JB2 is king. Another shoe that provides excellent comfort in a slightly different way is the Book 1. Material weighs in more here with Devin Booker's first signature shoe. It was clearly designed after the classic Nike models, especially the Air Force 1. On colorways like the Mirage V2, this new Rattlesnake one, they had a buttery smooth texture in hand. Thick and plush padding on the interior, like around the ankle area. Here you even have that nice tumble leather on the tongue. Prone to creasing, yes, but these are meant to be worn on the court. And having some leather on there didn't affect the ventilation or flexibility, because it's simply not a hard leather. Other than the soft and plush materials, cushion you get a one piece from Nike, a large volume zoom unit in the heel, and that does feel quite nice at the back. Toe box fits snug, so wide footers be aware of that, but we do have other options that are more ideal for wide feet coming up. Book 1, you can think of this as a performance version of the Air Force 1. Excellent traction, more importantly, comfy and fun ride. Like they even released an identical colorway on the Air Force 1 around the same time recently. Number 3, this shoe beats all other shoes from the same brand because of the improved comfort. And that is the Big 3 5.0 Quick Pro from 361 Degrees. Their DVD2, AG4, Big 3 Future, like those are all great performers, but I won't really consider any of them to be comfortable. And I kept saying that material on their basketball shoes usually turn out to be very plasticky or cheap. This time on the Big 3 5.0, the Pro version, I was surprised by how nice the interior padding is. This upper hugs my feet in a very cozy way, forgiving enough for my movements on the court. Cushion is the same type used on a lot of their other shoes. Nice and bouncy, no stiffness on feet. Adding in the minimal weight, these guys are very light, very comfy, rare from 361. Shoe number 4, I know this brand made another banger recently, but I haven't got a pair yet. This one is already top notch in terms of comfort, cushion, materials, bounciness, trash, and everything. And I'm talking about the Fresh Foam BB V2 from New Balance. First of all, as a warning, these guys are going to feel very high off the ground. It's got a stacked out midsole. I mean, you can probably tell from the height. So stability is even going to feel iffy at first, especially when you're rolling your feet back and forward on the court. I know a lot of us are used to wearing these low tops or low to the ground type of setups, so it's going to take some time to get used to that. But traction is elite. They're very bouncy. Material is stretchy, cozy, not too hard, and it even has a nice cooling effect. Compared to the first Fresh Foam BB, just the Fresh Foam X midsole already turned out to be softer and more responsive at the same time. So comfort saw a huge upgrade. And the V2 is easily one of the best hoop shoes you can get right now. Next up, another extremely comfortable shoe based on my experience. It's not picky when it comes to your foot shape, playing style, and I honestly think the majority of players can find this to have a long-lasting comfort. Asics Gelburst 28. I say that because I've had no soreness, no pinching, and no significant foot pains over time wearing the Gelburst 28, even as a flat footer. A lot of other shoes can be bouncy, grippy, or comfy after a long break-in, but these are good to go right from the start, and it just stays that way. An evidence might be the compression marks on the midsole. Flight foam is just deliciousness. Impact protection is sufficient. Upper is nice and soft. No BS, just a well-executed mesh. The previous version, Gelburst 27, was the shoe that I wore the most last year, mainly because of how comfy they are. So for those who have flat feet like I do, this is my top recommendation. All right, so we've covered 5. Honestly, those are pretty much the first 5 that came to mind for me. Also, they're all very recent releases in 2024. The next 5, some of them have some expertise that raise their value on this list. So let's get right into the white feet comfort expertise. How about a shoe that you never expect to be white foot friendly? Big surprise, the new KDs. Yep, this is only my second time playing in these, including just earlier today, but the KD 17 really did become more forgiving in terms of width. Going true to size, the amount of space inside was enough for me as someone who has slightly wider feet. Air strobo in the rear foot turns out to be very comfortable when you press down on the heel. Landings are fairly smooth, and compared to the KD 16, the setup might be very similar on paper, but this upper material is softer, so comfort-wise, that adds to it as well. The 16 might have better containment, however, so there is a trade-off. But compared to the previous 2 models actually, the KDs became more comfortable and the fit became more forgiving, because I honestly would consider most KDs to be much better suited for narrow feet. I'll update more about these as we go, for sure. Another one from Nike, these two are actually super similar based on my experience, the GT Hustle 2. I've talked about it multiple times last year. It's hella comfy, surprisingly white foot friendly. I know quite a few people who have wide feet. One person specifically with very wide feet, and he also confirmed that pretty much the only shoe from Nike that really worked for him was the GT Hustle 2. That step-in comfort was impressive. I still remember the first time I put them on. The material was super nice, and playing in them, it conforms to all types of movements. Full length zoom strobo, one of the best cushioning setups out there. So yeah, GT Hustle 2 remains in my top 10. Very similar to the KD 17. These two are almost like brothers or sisters, depending on what they identify as in this nasty world we live in today. One more white foot friendly shoe that gives you amazing comfort to the list, I have the Fission 9 from Wave Weight. Their expertise is also the width. Wave Weight shoes, believe it or not, are honestly not so spacious typically. Wild 10, Shadow 4, the new Flash, and Son of Flash, 808 3 Ultra, the first version, regular version is fine. Even the AlsBeatz are getting narrower and narrower. If you like a decently priced shoe from them with excellent traction, nice cushion, spacious fit, go with the Fission 9. Obviously, this is also very comfortable. That's why it's on this list. Let's shift over to Under Armour and Curry brand. Here I want to bring up the comfy guard shoe, Curry 11. These, I think, just have to make it. It's definitely not comfy because of the cushion. Even with their dual density flow on the 11, cushion is still just average at best. Core feel, step-in comfort, also the combination of materials used contributed to the Currys being on here. Technically, same applies to a bunch of their Floatrals. The Curry 4 high and low Floatral, Curry 1 and Curry 2 low Floatral, Curry Spawn Floatral, but the Curry 11 has the optimal level of softness on feet. It's smooth enough given that running shoe DNA, but it's not too soft. The Curry 2 low Floatral might be a little bit too soft to hold that well for any player who's heavier than average. Traction performance, they're all similar. And while we're here, the most comfortable shoe under $100, in my opinion, goes to their Curry Splash 24. I can leave a link to my video on that on the top right corner. Okay, so we only got one more to go. I didn't save the best for last, but I definitely saved my favorite for last. And I'm still debating if I should stay true to my personal experience or think about all types of players when we're evaluating the shoe together. So it's my favorite shoe of the year, the Jordan Tatum 2. Yes, compared to the Tatum 1, they really just stuffed the holes on there. But it made a difference for me. Containment got better. The Tatum 1, as much as I enjoyed it, with that poke-through design all over, I can't really call it comfortable because they really went for that minimalistic route. Tatum 2 worked perfectly for my extremely flat feet. There's not too much arch support. The shoe itself is not too light or flimsy. This is really more of an old man's comfort, like I said. It just gets the job done. No crazy tech involved in it. Sometimes a deluxe setup can go the opposite way of its intention. If you were to ask me which specific area of the Tatum 2 felt that nice, I can't name one. But there's not a particular part that causes problems for me. And even after extended runs, my feet felt perfectly fine. That's enough qualifications to me. If I was to pick out the most comfortable out of these 10, my top 3 would be JB2, that's a no-brainer. Fresh from BB V2, a shoe that gives you practically everything on top of being just comfy. And I gotta throw in the Gelburst 28 in there. Such an easy and smooth ride. I wore the 27 nonstop last year. 28 has been getting the same type of love for sure. So that's it for my picks of the top 10 most comfortable shoes to hoop in. I'm pretty sure all of them are still available as we speak. Some of them should be on sale too, depending on where you are. If you prioritize comfort, or if you're like me who just want a smooth ride sometimes, not too stiff, not too clunky, and doesn't require too long of a break-in time, these are the best options based on my experience. But as always, let me know if you agree or disagree. More importantly, please feel free to share your picks for the most comfortable shoes that you played in so we can have more perspectives. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.